Shalom, welcome to the Jewish View. My name is Rabbi Nachman Simon with the Chabad House of Delmar, together with my co-host Mark Ronich, who's been covering the Capitol for over 30 years.
Wow, yeah, and I survived. And but government obviously is a big part of my life. It's throughout my veins.
Hopefully you have good blood over
And today we have two wonderful guests who are just terrific as county clerks. Albany County Clerk Bruce Hidley and Rensselaer County Clerk Frank Merola. Welcome back to the Jewish View.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Taking
It's
time
great
out
to
of
be
your
here with
busy
you.
day. So, Bruce, let's start with you. What's new with Albany County in the clerk's office?
Well, since the last time I was with you, a lot.
Oh, really?
A lot. We've gotten. As I explained to you the last time, one of the issues that I had when I ran was technology in the office, and we've forged ahead a lot. We have a new vendor called InfoQuick Solutions who now handles our indexing, cashiering, and scanning system. Everything is online now. You can stay at home and review deeds and mortgages. If you need them certified, you still have to come into the office. But if you just want to take a look at it, you can go online and do that. We've created a revenue stream through IQS where we now take in over $60,000 a year in revenue from the subscription sales that we have online, and it's been a big bonus for us.
Now, the last time you were here, you mentioned you give back like $1 million to the county.
Well, we take in over $30 million a year. Frank, I'm not sure what your county takes in over there.
Yeah. Well, we may give back a little less than you, seeing that we're a little smaller county. Yeah.
Well, you take in $30 million.
We
How
take in
much do you
$30
give
million,
back?
and most of we give back to the county probably $400,000 to $500,000 a year.
Okay, because
The rest is streamlined out to the agencies and the state agencies and
because you were last on the show in 2014.
2014.
And I'm just, you said it was like $1 million then, and why is it so much lower now?
Well, obviously, the money's not there.
Well, if you're doing more with less.
We're doing more with less.
So
correct.
then why wouldn't you have more to give back? What's happening
With my office, and Frank's office is the same thing. It all depends upon the mortgage sales that are done in the county.
Yep.
And
so you think that the dip in the housing market really hurt?
it has. It's dropped substantially, and I give a report to this county legislature every year to show them exactly where that money has gone, where why there's been a dip. I do charts and present that to them so that they have a full understanding of what the office is like.
And they're not skeptical?
No, because it's the past 2 to 3 years now. It's been steady to $400,000 to $500,000 that I've been able to return to the county.
Okay. Well, I think you're the only agency.
There aren't many. There aren't many that turn money back. Yeah.
So Frank, what's the situation in Rensselaer?
Well, just that Bruce, I mean, he's only been there about a little over 3 years now, and he's made some major goals, and oh my God, huge in a short period of time. The benefit I have, and Bruce doesn't have, is I have a DMV office, so our revenue is up a little bit more than what Bruce would be, but it's always generated mostly on that DMV side.
Well, it's a smaller county.
Much smaller.
It's a smaller county than Albany.
Well, about 150,000. I think he's about 300.
300,000. Yeah, so it's like twice the population.
Yeah. But we have that DMV office, so we usually on a yearly basis, we turn back either between $700,000 and close to $1 million back to the county in revenue. But and a big portion of that is our DMV office.
So why don't you explain the DMV? I mean, I understand it because Mark and I probably have every politician, every statesman in the whole Capital District, literally.
Right.
And I understand what you're saying, but so the question maybe I'll ask for the viewers is why are you having DMV?
Yeah, I know. Well, we do.
Money coming in and Albany doesn't. To say, two counties right next door to each other.
You have 62 county clerks. Only 52 of them actually control their DMV offices. Bruce does not. That's state run. Yeah. And the ones that are controlled by the county clerks, They get a percentage of everything they do in the transaction. So if you come into my DMV, I get 12.7% of every transaction we process to go back to our county, and it
That's
stays
if
within
you
our.
come into the office.
If you come into the office.
If you don't,
Well, it's a
You
little
don't get as much
convoluted.
benefit.
Even though if you do something on the internet and you belong to Rensselaer County, that's where you live, we get a small percentage,
Right.
even though you did that on the internet.
and it takes a long time to get that small percentage.
It does, yeah, it does, it does. It takes a long time, but
I'm sure they're not quick with the check within paying
Very,
within 30
very slow.
days. or
Yeah, very
something,
slow.
You know?
But it's been
But I
good.
think it's because, Bruce, I think Onondaga County, Erie County,
Yep.
Monroe County, the larger counties don't have DMV offices because the state.
They're under state.
The state office is in that county. And
That's
I think
right.
that's why you don't have.
That's correct.
A
The
DMV office.
DMVS in Albany is right off of Pearl Street in downtown here.
That's a blessing in disguise. He's probably thankful every day that he doesn't have a DMV office, maybe for the money end, but.
But although I don't have a DMV office, I do have what the Albany County Hall of Records, which is a joint records management program between the city of Albany and the county of Albany, which is unique to Frank.
That's right, that's right.
So, even though, Frank does have a DMV office, I have the Albany County Hall of Records, which is my second office.
I'd just like to interject because my wife and I went to this county office where you're saying with all the records.
That's on
And it-
Tivoli Street?
That's correct,
and
95 Tivoli
It's
Street.
really, I recommend it. I don't know if you want thousands of people, our audience going there, but my wife and I went there. My wife heard about it actually more than I. I told her about it. She says, let's go. It's very important. And it really is probably the best kept secret in the Capital District, I'd say, because it's a wealth of the history of Albany. And, practically nobody knows about it.
I call it the gem of Albany County, Rabbi. It's quite the facility. And we have 104 cubic foot of records that we store there, 104,000 cubic foot of records. And right now we're at capacity. Even with today's technology and times and getting things paperless, we still have a maximum amount. So what I've done, working with the Albany County Legislature and the County Executive, Dan McCoy, we have secured a $1.8 million bond to build an expansion to the Albany County Hall of Records.
Right there at Tivoli.
Right, yeah, we did. We went, believe me, we went around to other buildings and took a look at, how much it would cost to buy the building. Would this be the best bang for our taxpayers' bucks in Albany County? And we felt the best way to take care of the taxpayers was to build it right on our property that we have on Tivoli Street.
Okay, so which financing agency is this going through?
Mike Connors, our Albany County Controller, handles that.
Okay.
I really don't know the
So
answer
he's
to that.
dealing with that, okay. And and then you're building it on the building, so when are you going to break ground?
We should be breaking ground anytime in June or early July.
Mark wants to be there. He's a reporter. He wants to get the scoop
Well, I
over.
thought I was going to do it
quick scoop.
October, right before Election Day, that's what
No. This has been in the works for a couple of years now. Anytime you have to do a new project like that, it has to go out to bid. There was several contractors involved with it because of the fact that we needed electrical work, we needed fire suppression, we needed iron work.
Right.
Well,
you're going to need climate control to keep the documents.
climate control is another, suppression. Yep, absolutely. So there was a lot involved with it. There was a lot of vendors that bid on this project, and it took our purchasing team a while to go through it and to make sure that all the T's were crossed and the I's were dotted and done correctly. And
As opposed to the T's dotted and the I's crossed.
you got it.
Just the opposite.
Frank, when are you up for re-election?
I'm up this November.
And
both
Bruce
of-
is
both
also.
of us.
you.
Both of us are up
Are
again.
all county clerks up this year?
No, the majority.
It's just coincidence that it
Coincidence
just
we're up
happened to
together,
be.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So anyone coming up?
Not that I've heard of, but we just continue to do what we've been doing for the last 20 years as clerk.
Right.
Yeah, but I haven't heard anyone.
20 years as clerk and 11 years
As
as
the
deputy
deputy,
clerk,
that's
so
correct.
30 years in the.
Yeah, 30 plus years.
Wow.
Yeah, in the clerk's office. So, and it's been good. So
It's been good.
Yeah, it has been.
Life's been good.
Yeah, it has
It's
been
the
good.
dream job.
Yeah, I still enjoy it. So people say
Okay.
you're old enough, you got enough years, and
Yeah.
do you want to retire? And at this point, I still enjoy what I'm doing. So,
So how old are you?
I'm 67.
67.
Yep.
All right. And
Yeah.
how old are you?
59.
59. Oh, well, there you go.
I'm 29.
But you're up for election.
I am.
And are you see an opponent on the horizon?
You know, there's still plenty of time for people to come out, but no, not yet.
I heard of a name, Howard Koff.
On the Republican side.
Right. Well, yeah, that's all you would have an opponent for. I mean, no
No, maybe.
Democrat.
Well,
would
I could have a
oppo-
primary, yes.
No one's going to oppose you on the Democratic. But you say like, on the Republican side, like there's no Republican side ever, you know.
Well, no, that's not the case at all, and I will take that, you know, I will take my reelection very seriously.
Okay, so
Here, Mark, let me put in a,
well, Howard Koff is Jewish. This is why I'm bringing it up. He's going to run against the.
doesn't mean he's a better candidate.
Yeah. So tell me about what you know. Have you heard that name? Do you know anything about him? or-
Actually, yesterday was the first I've heard it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. See, I'm right up.
You
on
are right on top of things, Mark, very good.
But I want to say something
Yes,
from
go
the
ahead.
Jewish view,
Yes.
because you say a little bit older, even though I'm 29, so you could be 29 also.
Yeah.
But in any case, that the Lubavitcher Rebbe, you know, always was inspiring and motivating people more than they want. People want their comfort zone. Let me sit back and wait a minute. You could do a lot more. Come on. And I just was there by the Rebbe, and I saw a tape. The Rebbe passed away 25 years ago, but they have all his tapes. You talk about archives over here. They have tremendous archives. And the Rebbe was telling someone, he says, you're not supposed to be retired. You have more to offer to the community, and you have to keep going. So that's what I thought. I just heard it
Yeah.
again, and therefore I want to apply it to you. You know, there's just at 65, well, I'm done. I have nothing to do. When you have nothing to do, you have things to offer to the community. You're doing a
Right.
good job.
Right.
I should just give it up over here. So
Yeah.
got to put a commercial
That's
in for the
good.
Jewish view.
No,
over here.
I
See,
appreciate that.
You know,
No,
Mark, I
that's-
always think it's kind of hard when somebody, all of a sudden, Bruce has been in for almost 4 years, I've been in for a number of years, but then for someone just to wake up one day and say that, geez, he's not doing a good job. I mean, if they've done it over in the course of years and they're going after us continually saying that this isn't right, then I can see somebody's doing some groundwork. But someone just to wake one day and think that I'd make a better county clerk than Bruce would make, or somebody would make a better county clerk than me, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I understand that at one of the campaigns against your predecessor, there was a big deal about office hours. And then when the incumbent, your predecessor, won, he increased the office hours. He took whatever the issue was through the campaign, and he adopted it and listened to what the opponent was saying. So I thought that was pretty cool.
It is.
But-
And, you know, I got to be honest with you, Mark, when I ran in 2013, I hit every municipality in Albany County, and I listened to what people had to say. And one of the biggest things that out there was, what are you going to do about pistol permit cards? And one of the first things I worked with our vendor in IQS, and Frank can attest to this, is we now have plastic pistol permit cards in Albany County for our residents, for new ones that come in and amendments that come through my office. So that was one of the biggest campaign issues that I dealt with. Technology was another one, and I've done my best to address that, and I'm continuing to do that. I can tell you, at the Albany County Hall of Records, we were just awarded a $146,000 grant through the Local Government Records Management Improvement Fund. And this was a shared services grant that we were awarded with the City of Albany to digitize all of the City of Albany's marriage records and all the marriage records that Albany County has at the Hall of Records. Now, what does that mean for Joe Q. Public? That means when they come into the City of Albany's Vital Statistics Bureau or the City Clerk's office, the clerks will now be able to bring it up on their computer screens, no longer have to touch those big bulky books that are in their offices, and they will be able to do it from their computer.
And print it out.
And print it out right there, and they no longer will have to touch those books.
Well, and the books, I mean, are still important to have the original
They are.
document.
Oh my God, yes.
But
Yeah.
but you don't have to. Every time you touch a document, you destroy it a little bit.
Yes, you do.
Because of the oils on the skin.
That's correct.
Or whatever. So if you have it digitized, you preserve the history. Because you never know who's going to be famous
Plus-
being married in Albany County, and then you might, and then you could just digitize and print that out, and that would be a suitable document.
That's correct.
You know, people complain to me, though, one thing, once I'm on the line with you, it takes like a year to get a pistol permit in Albany County, and then, I have friends all over the Capital District, oh yeah, my county, you can get in 2 days over here.
And that is an issue. You're absolutely correct, Rabbi. But I have been
Why does
working
it
very
take so long?
close with the judges in Albany County to see what we can do to speed up the process a tad bit. Now, these judges are very busy, so their documents and their court cases, are much more important than a pistol permit because some of these cases go 2-3 months at a time for these judges.
Right.
Well, isn't it true that, Albany County is, more on the liberal, it's all Democrats elected and more on the liberal side. So, whereas, Rensselaer County has more rural area and is more on the Republican conservative side, and that population, Rensselaer County, really favors, gun permits a lot more. So you got to hustle. I mean, the judges are of the same mindset, where I don't think the judges in Albany County are of that same mindset to rush and how important a pistol permit might be to someone.
Well, county clerks are only the conduit. We, as fast as you get it to us, we get it to the judge. We have nothing to do with it once it gets to the judge. Judge makes a decision as to when he wants to sign it.
That's why I brought up my point that I
Yeah.
think that the judges in Rensselaer County are more in tune to how important
Yeah.
the gun permits are. I wasn't saying anything.
No, I
about the
know, I
clerk.
know.
It was more
Yeah.
of the judges. And I
Yeah.
think that in Albany County, the judges are more of a liberal mindset, and they're not that, they don't find the importance there.
Well, in fairness to the judges in Albany County, they do have a much larger caseload too than most of the judges in other counties.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And if you went back a few years ago in Rensselaer County, we only had one judge that was doing pistol permits. It was Judge McGrath, and he did a great job. He continues to do them. Now we have 8 judges. So if you ask me a question on pistol permits, and I have to refer it to a judge, there's really 8 judges. I can't really give you a solid answer on anything. Before I could say, Judge McGrath, what do you think on this situation? What do you, what would you do?
It sounds more efficient the way it used to be.
It was easier the way it used to be, but now
Why'd they make it more difficult?
Well, I think judges like the idea that they have the ability to issue a pistol permit to an individual, and so we now have 8 judges doing pistol permits. But luckily for us, it's not taking the same length of time that it does in Albany County, but.
But we are going to defend the judges.
I am. But we are working my office, the chief clerk's office, we are working very closely with each other to see what we can do to help the judges along, maybe get that information back to my office, because like Frank already said, the day that they bring their amendment or their new pistol permit in, we get it right over there.
Right.
There's no delay going out of the county clerk's office from either Rensselaer or Albany County.
Okay. Well, that you're doing what you can. You can only be accountable for what you can do. You can't be accountable for someone else's time. I mean, and the judges' backlog and how busy they are. But maybe Albany County should designate one judge that would be just responsible for pistol permits.
I'm not sure. I think right now we have 12 or 14 judges that work on pistol permits.
Wow. That's a lot, because every judge has their own bias.
Yes. And that includes the city of Albany, because we do take care of the city of Albany's pistol permits also.
So what's the biggest the biggest issue with pistol permits that you'd like to bring up that you're, besides the processing of it?
Yeah. Well, we're about to go out, I mentioned earlier, that we're about to go out on the road on Brunswick to talk to one of the gun clubs there. This month we're going out and talk about the recertification process. That's the process where someone puts the information that they have on their permit and downloads it to the state police to make sure that what they have is the same thing that they have on their permit. And that process by January 31st of 2018 has to be complete. So anybody who's had a permit for over 5 years has to recertify within that time frame.
And the important message to that is, even if they don't hear from the state police, they still need to recertify anyways.
That's right. Yep.
So what you're saying, I mean, some of these people have had guns handed down from generations, and they don't know what the original paperwork was, or where it came from, and all the particulars that are in the recertification document.
Yeah, well, this is a way for them to make sure that the records that the state police has that are correct are the records that we have, and they're on their own permit. So that process has started. I think from what I hear, it's moving very smoothly. And I think when we go out there, we're going to be telling people to do it quickly. Don't wait until the end. Get it done, get it over with. And
there was guns in them Nar Hills.
There's a lot of guns in them Nar Hills.
There was over 360,000 recertification letters sent out statewide by the state police.
What
for this
about in
program.
Albany County, how many?
I don't have that
You
number.
don't have that,
no.
okay. And are you going to gun clubs in Albany County and talking to them?
Well, actually, the gun club that we're going to in Brunswick is a lot of Albany County residents
Okay.
belong to
Oh, I
that gun
see.
club, which
Yeah.
is why they.
You're going
they-
both?
We're both going together.
We're going
yeah.
as a tag team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great that it's Democrat, Republican, and the two of you working together, and party affiliation doesn't matter, and, you know, it's,
Well, I think we're both on the same page. It's all about customer service, and that's what we're both trying to do in our office, whether it be in Albany County or Rensselaer County. And I think I know Bruce is doing a good job.
No,
And I
yeah.
hope the people in my county think I'm doing a good job.
well, I can't fault you for,
Well, for 20
For
years,
much.
or 30 years being there, you know, but must be
It's been
doing
good.
something right over here.
you know, but
Either.
people pick on anything and,
They do.
and take a, small piece and blow it up and,
Do you know if the gun permits, that's what, I know sometimes they're up and down, I mean, what do you
Oh,
say here on
since,
the increase?
without any question, in Albany County, we've seen a huge increase in people putting in for their pistol permits. And one of the areas that's been most, that they bringing in is they want their carry conceal. They want their restrictions
People are that
removed
scared,
from
you
hunting
think?
and
I mean-
targeting. Yeah, I do. I believe
Yeah,
with
I-
everything
that's-
that's been going on around our country,
Yeah, I think
people
want-
people are afraid, yeah.
what are the typical type of gun? Because it's like, Governor Cuomo said in one of his State of the State messages, you don't need an assault weapon to kill a deer.
Right.
And I just was
Tho-
wondering,
Well, those aren't on pistol permits. It's usually.
no, pistol and.
Pistol, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
assault
a
weapon,
small-
right.
right.
But you're only doing pistol permits.
That's right.
What if someone has and rifles you could just buy over the counter?
That's
Yes.
correct.
So what happens with something larger that's not a rifle and larger than a pistol? Where do people have to go to get those registered?
They're registered, the state police has a site that they actually, they started last year to register those weapons.
Just
I don't know how successful it was, but that's
Just
the thing.
started last year.
Yeah,
Isn't that
yeah.
a shame? I mean,
Yeah.
after 9/11, and they didn't start it after that,
But I think the people we're talking about are law-abiding citizens. I mean, the people that have pistol permits are very rarely, you're gonna see a person that has a pistol permit in that law-abiding, and that's what their big argument here is, that, look, you're going after the people, SAFE Act was supposed to weed out these people. You don't have to weed those people out. Those people have already gone through a process. They're law-abiding citizens. The ones we need to go after are the people that are carrying guns that aren't allowed to be carrying
Now,
guns.
you were talking to me at one point about the amount of information that can be redacted or not disclosed to the public that are on these permits. And one of the issues that's come up is the mental health issue.
That's a very big issue now, mental health. Our
Yeah.
third judicial administrative judge, Judge Breslin, just came down with an executive order about redacting names off of mental health cases that come out of the court systems. It's very important that we not divulge the names of people that are involved with mental health issues, and the judge just wants to reassure that the county clerks in his jurisdiction abide by that redaction policy, and that order just only came out last month. So we're going to be taking a very. I'm sure Frank is going to be doing the same thing.
Yep.
We're going to take a very close look at those court cases as they come in to make sure
But,
everything is
it just
redacted.
seems those, strange kind of people shooting people down. Many of them have mental cases, that's what they say, they go
right.
shooting people. Then.
So
Would they be able to get a gun permit if they know they've been in a mental hospital?
I doubt there's any judge in my county that would assign on a pistol permit for somebody that's had some mental issues at all.
And we've had orders come across our desks from the issuing agents, which are the judges, that have removed pistol permits from people with mental health issues.
So that's why they want the law-abiding citizens to register and be on track, because at any moment, you want to be registered, you want the documentation on file, because you could snap
That's right.
at any
That's
point.
true.
So the people who are law-abiding today may not be law-abiding tomorrow.
That's true.
And that's why I think they got to start somewhere. So they're starting from the law-abiding citizens, because they're the ones you could track.
Yeah, that's true.
And the
That's-
ones who are not law-abiding, we have in City of Albany cases where pistols are hidden under, they have called them community pistols, where they hide them under staircases.
That's right.
And then, when you need one, you go under the staircase, you get it, you do you bad deed and then you put it back where you found it.
Yeah. But again, those
You
are
know,
people.
you all
that
know
don't-
about that, right?
Oh, sure. But,
Yeah.
those aren't the people that you're going to find in our office.
They're not gonna come
apply
in.
For a pistol permit, right. But the thing about the information was, I remember a few years ago where downstate, they posted every person with a pistol permit, and they
remember
posted
that.
the home location where they lived.
Yeah.
And that is no longer, I know in our county, you can no longer get that information from us. We seal those records up. And even the governor, he allowed to opt out. If you didn't want your information out,
Correct.
he allowed you to opt out. It's the only record that you can get on one level of government and you can't get on another. State, they're sealed, but yet he was allowing the counties to have that open information. But as far as I'm concerned, my office, they're sealed records. The only person that's going to see it is a judge or a law enforcement
Or county clerk.
or a county clerk.
That's right.
And we abide by the same thing in Albany County also.
You do,
Yeah.
okay. And that's worked well in Albany
Yes, it
County?
has.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
So any person, back to their concealed weapon, any person who's considered quote unquote normal and if they want to conceal, they'll allow it, or do you have to have
No,
special
no, he has to, they have
qualification?
to, yes, there is a course that is taken for people that want to carry concealed
Really?
permits.
Yeah, there is.
And,
You know what's funny, Loretta? You go to a different county within New York State, and every permit that's issued is really issued the way it's supposed to be. You're allowed to conceal carry a permit, a gun, if you have a pistol permit. There's no reason to give you a pistol permit until you got to leave the pistol at home. If I think you're well enough to have a pistol, I'm going to think you're well enough to have that pistol on you at any time, as
Yeah,
long as
that's what I
that
figured.
you use it in a safe manner. But
Well, what they do in Albany County is they actually bring the applicant in, and the judge brings them before the bench, and they talk about it, and the reasoning why they want to carry conceal, and then the judge will issue, yes, it's a carry conceal, or no, it still continues to be hunting and target or practice only.
Well, oh, okay, so that's an important distinction. That
Yes,
I
it
don't
is.
know, people who are not gun owners might not know that, and I'm not a gun owner.
yeah, yeah. But really, it's a Second Amendment right to be able to carry an arm someone.
Yeah, now, isn't there something in that Second Amendment which people don't read carefully, but there's something in there that it was for military purposes that it was a different time when they wrote it.
I'm sure it was a different time, but it still falls under the category that if you want to be able to hold a gun in your hand, that you should be able to hold a gun in your hand. It's a constitutional right under the Second Amendment.
And it wasn't written with a different intent of the law as opposed to the exact wording of the law?
I don't know if it was intent. I'm not sure if it was intent.
You don't know what the intent was?
Yeah.
No one knows what the intent was?
No.
Okay.
But as I say, you go to some counties, every single permit that's issued is the way it's supposed to be. It's concealed carry, every single permit.
And then you're able to, isn't there a new kind of idea that if you have a pistol permit, you can go anywhere in the country? See, because Texas, they're very
Well,
open.
they're
Is
starting to
that
talk
the new
about
law?
that. They're starting to talk, to be able to go from one state to another and still could be able
That's
to carry
being-
it.
that's
If you're in
done.
Albany County, you can go to New York State without a problem, or not New York City, is it?
None of-
I'm asking.
New York City,
Yeah,
you have
none
to
of the five
call
boroughs.
ahead.
Yeah.
You got to call the sheriff of New York City. There's a sheriff.
To come into
And
there.
to escort you from the border through the city if you're going, let's say, to Long Island or something, or if
Yeah.
you're going down.
Yeah.
Because New York State, the geography of New York State, it's the only state that if you take it out of the map, New England becomes an island.
Yeah.
So you have to, if you want to go from New England to the mid-Atlantic states, you have to pass through New York.
New York City.
So whether it's New York City or
Right.
upstate or Hudson Valley, whatever, you have to pass through New York in order to go from the New England to the mid-Atlantic states. That's why our tolls are so high, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Because
They got you
they
coming
got
going,
you.
huh?
There's but as far as, as far as being escorted, I
Yep.
mean, there's no way to get from Connecticut to Long Island without going through New York City, except if you take a ferry.
Sure.
We seem to be running out of time, so I would just like to
Okay,
go back to the Hall of Records just
Yes,
one more
please.
time, if
Sure.
you don't mind.
Right.
And Rabbi, I'm very appreciative of the fact that you enjoyed being there and seeing what we have. But what I do want to say is we do encourage as many people to come as possible. We conduct tours. We work with local colleges and high schools to have intern people come in and work at the Albany County Hall of Records. It's just a wonderful facility, and any of your viewers, they can contact me directly if they want, and I will personally bring them for a tour of that facility. It's a great facility, and as you know, we do go out on the road and do displays.
Yes, you do. I see.
And,
Nice.
yeah, and we enjoy doing that, and to your Jewish viewers. If they want us to come back again, we'd be more than happy
Well,
to do
but
that.
you
I'll tell you
also-
one thing, there's a lot of non-Jewish viewers that,
Yeah.
people come up to me in the street and say, you know, I'm not Jewish, but I really enjoy your Jewish views.
But you also have a lot of Jewish documents
We
in the
do.
Hall of Records.
We
And
do.
some of the original landowners were Jewish way back when.
Yes.
And that was, Asser Levy was one of them.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That is correct, yes.
So I understand that, you know, there's a lot of Jewish history there.
But I do encourage anybody to stop in.
Sure. And
Well, you know, thank you very much. We, like you say, we are out of time, but it's always enjoying to come back. You know, you have to come back. We give you success in your election, so you'll come back in another year or two and tell us what's happening in your respective counties. So thank you and be with
Thank you.
success.
Great to
Rabbi
have
Mark,
you.
thank you. Thank you
Continued
so much.
success.
Thanks for having us.
Continued
Thank
success.
you.